It was good 369. I want to try, it's a bit difficult, to show you what a good argument actually is. And you gotta stick with me here because it's a bit tricky. But let's start first of all with what is an argument. We gotta lay the basic foundation. An argument is a stack of statements or reasons in order to conclude something, in order to prove something, to persuade someone into believing what you are trying to tell them. You try to reason towards it. And in doing so, we are trying to establish premises that are then leading up to the conclusion, okay? And we can decide between deductive arguments, where we are saying that the premises are 100% guaranteeing the truth of the conclusion. If A equals B, B equals C, that's the second premise, then A equals C. So to put it actually in numbers, if we say A is 1 and it's the same like B, then both have to be 1. And B is the same as C, it's also 1, then A is the same as C, and 1 is 1, basically. An inductive argument would be hence that the premises are guaranteeing the likelihood of the possibility that the conclusion is true. So it's not 100% guaranteed, but so to speak 50%. An example would be, it snows every winter since the recording of time, or since of the recording of weather. That means, or therefore, it will snow this winter once again. We have the likelihood of it occurring because it occurred in the past, but it does not 100% guarantee it. Now we know arguments, we know deductive and inductive arguments, we know premise and conclusion, but that's not yet a good argument. We can build now an argument, but that's not yet a good argument because we could mess up. We could mess up the premises or the conclusion. And there we need this another category, which are valid arguments. We need to establish validity. And an argument is only then valid, and really only then, when for no logical possible situation where the premises are true but the conclusion is false. I want to give you an example. Think it through, please. I am above 1.50 m in height. This means I am above 1 meter in height. The premise is true and the conclusion leads up to it. We conclude that I have to be over 1 meter in height, which is valid. Okay. Another example would be, I am over 1 meter in height, my premise. This means, conclusion, that I am above 1.50 m in height. That's invalid, because it could also be the chance that I'm above 1 meter in height, but not above 1.50 m in height, where we would therefore say that the conclusion is false, and therefore the whole argument is invalid. I hope you can stick with me right now, because it's not going to be easier. Because we are going to introduce now truth in the whole thing, and with truth I'm speaking about factualness. So to make it really easy, birds do exist, that's true. Gnomes do not exist, okay, that's also true. But we can introduce this thing of truth into our validity. We can say that a gnome is above 1.20 meter in height and is therefore above 1 meter in height as well. This is logically true, but it does not have to be factual true, because a gnome does not really exist. This layer of truth does not really appeal to logic. I know it's hard, but to put it in words, if the premises are true and the conclusion is true, you are having a logic argument and you are having a valid argument without really, you don't need to look at the content and need to consider it to be actual factual. Because arguments consider validity and the truth, where we say we can apply like truth and false only to statements. We can say a lake is a body of sea, that is true, or a lake is a plant, which would be false. And there we speak of different truth and false than if we were to put it into validity of arguments. So let's move on, because I hope you understand it. So what is now a good argument? A good argument should have true premises and should be valid or strong. So I introduced this category of validity, and now I'm, so to say, disapproving it. Because yes, we can have valid arguments and they will make up quite often good arguments. But we can also have strong arguments. So, for example, no baby is able to understand quantum physics. Katerina is going to have a baby, therefore her baby will not understand quantum physics. This is a strong argument. But it can be that this baby is actually able to understand quantum physics when it's still a baby, so it's an invalid argument. Therefore, I'm saying it's all a bit tricky. But I hope you understand this. And therefore, we can say that not every argument, not every good argument needs to be valid as well. But just for you to understand it, you either need to have valid arguments which have true premises and true conclusions, or strong arguments, which I just had an example. Some people will pull up with circular conclusions, with circular arguments, where the conclusion is the premise. I am bald, therefore I am bald. The premise should never beg the question, like the premise should never also be the conclusion. This is not a good argument. If you want to now specify a good argument even more, we can take a look at the soundness of an argument. The soundness now takes back a look at truth, okay? When we talk about soundness, we do not consider things that are not actually existing, that are not actually true in the real world, okay? The premise should now only contain real facts. Then we can also look another way on strength. This only applies for inductive arguments. You remember where the premise is not 100% guaranteeing the conclusion? And the strength of an inductive argument implies how likable the conclusion is. The stronger it is, you saw it, the baby cannot understand quantum physics. It is very unlikely. It is very strong because it's super unlikely that a baby will understand quantum physics. And therefore, the strength is very high of this inductive argument. Because it is not guaranteed that no baby will ever understand it, but it's super strong and super unlikely that this baby will understand quantum physics. I really hope you understand this. And then when we have an inductive argument that is strong with true premises, then we talk about a cogency that applies to this type of argument. I hope you understand this video and you can apply it. You can also take a look down at my Patreon, where you will find more resources in order to understand this topic better. And you can also ask questions down in the comments. So I will try my best to explain it even more to you. And then leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.